Welcome to the City League Sports Show here. Look, we got smiles going on, people. We are going to share some love today with all things about the City League in studio. Come on, in the house with us today. We got Bulldogs in the studio from the South Side. I got Coach Miss Charlette, the one and only, right? The one and only, come on. And then joined, I have Isaiah Smith. Did I say that correctly?
Yes,
come on, I'm doing well in here with names. And then we got Elise Robinson in the house. We're going to talk about track. We're going to talk about South. We're going to have some fun. I'm your host, Dr. Vince Clarino. We're going to get into it. Now, I think you're the baby of the group here, Isaiah. You're the sophomore with us. Mm-hmm. What, you 14, 15? I don't know. How old are you when you're in the 10th grade?
16.
So, 16. Is that how old 10th graders are?
Yeah,
I've been out of the building too long. Okay. Say hello to everybody. Come on, give me your voice first.
I'm Isaiah Smith. I'm here coming from South, of course.
Okay.
Big Bulldogs. I'm in the 10th grade, and I run track.
There we go. Come on. Yeah, I run track. Come on, we're going to turn it over to the junior in the house here.
My name is Elise Robinson. I'm 17 years old, and I like track. So,
Hey, look, we got radio listeners, and I will share. These smiles are contagious going on in here today. So, Coach, come on, bring them. Say hello to everybody.
My name is Charlette Keuchler, Charlette Horton Keuchler. Some of you may have known me as Miss Horton back in the day. I got married, so I'm Miss Keuchler or Coach Charlette or Miss Charlette. I've been teaching in the district for 31 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've been 11 years at South High School.
Wow. So Coach, we'll start with you because I don't know how long I've known you. I feel like forever, right? That's what happens when we all been around this place 20 plus 25 years, 30 years, those things. I think I've always known you as Miss Charlette. Okay. I mean, I think is that what everybody calls you, right? Is most people calling you Coach Charlette or Miss Charlette?
Miss Charlette, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I started in the district in 1992 teaching at Burroughs Elementary School, PE teacher by trade, and I spent 8 years.
Bless your heart, elementary schools are tough.
They are. It was a lot of fun. I did elementary school, but I knew I wanted to coach. Back then, I didn't get a lot of opportunities to coach, so I was coaching Double Dutch when American Double Dutch League was here.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Do y'all know what Double Dutch is?
Yes.
Oh, do y'all? Okay, I wasn't sure because I don't see a lot of Double Dutch going on. When we were kids, that was what everyone, I mean, you did that all day long, right? So I wasn't sure. Do y'all know how to Double Dutch?
No.
No.
I need to break out my rope.
Come on.
I need to break out the rope.
Because I would say that probably when we were kids, young ladies that age all would know how to Double Dutch, right? Like that was just a common thing across the country.
I'm sorry,
so Double Dutch, that's a good one right there. That gives us some energy in here.
Yeah, and we did competitive Double Dutch where we go. There was a state championship, and then there was the world championships in South Carolina. We would travel and do compulsory Double Dutch and freestyle. And
I don't have that in any of my notes. Listeners, I did not know this was happening today. I did not know we were going to get in some Double Dutch. Yeah. And there's a song, the Double Dutch bus coming down the street. It's they was jamming with us. I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. So we got Double Dutch, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. So to kind of scratch that itch, that's when I was teaching elementary school. I coached Double Dutch. Then when I got to middle school, I coached track and field and volleyball.
Nice. Okay.
So I coached at Indianola Tech, the one that's closed now, and then I coached at Southmore. The one that's closed now.
Right.
And so then we went over to South High School, and then I ended up starting to coach volleyball and track and field at the high school.
Yeah, nice.
That's been 11 years.
Wow. Okay. So come on. We'll turn to you, Elise. Track and field. How's Coach doing? Hey, look, you get to grade the coach. This is a safe space. We get, we give y'all love. We empower our babies and our students. How's Coach doing?
Coach Charlette, she's doing so great. I've played sports for her since my freshman year.
Okay.
And I was coming from COVID. Being at a private Christian school, it was a big transition. It was hard, and I feel like being with her.
What year was COVID for you?
That was my 7th grade year.
7th grade year. Okay.
In my entire 8th grade.
We get a little closer, listeners. Every year we start to phase them out, right? Because for a minute there, almost every show was COVID, and the challenges that come along with that. And now it's nice to hear. So go ahead. I'm sorry. So 7th grade was COVID year for you.
Yeah, my 7th grade year, my whole 8th grade year. That transition, it was hard. Just being in a new environment with a whole bunch of stuff. It was overwhelming, but being with her, I was able to grow. I feel like as an individual, I've grown so much. I'm really happy that I've been a part of this program for that very reason, because it's just I've grown.
Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to come over to you, Isaiah Smith.
Yeah.
You're the sophomore here today. When are you a South 7-8 kid, or do you come to South in the 9th grade?
I came in the 8th grade.
In the 8th grade, and now here you are, athlete, getting it in. How was track and tell me your track and field journey? When do you find the sport? When does the sport find you? How do you get on this path of running?
I started track and field when I was in the 5th grade. I was running AAU.
Okay.
And ever since then, I just love track. And I came here and I found Miss Charlette, my favorite coach of them all. And I've grown.
It is genuine love up in here today. No, I'm being serious, right? Because like sometimes coaches come in, and I didn't mean to stop you. We're going to get you. You've grown a lot. You pause right there. But to be honest, kudos to you, because a lot of times sometimes we've had some athletes and they're working with their coach. But I can feel genuine love up in here right now. I mean, we 60, 70 episodes in, so you know what I mean? We've seen a lot, heard a lot. So you've grown a lot. We're going to come back to you. Go ahead. Keep on going. My apologies.
Yes, I've grown a lot off of Miss Charlette. You teach me a lot, and I'm really grateful that you are my coach. I really do appreciate you being so patient with us. Yeah. And I know it's kind of been rocky with our track team this year, but I'm so glad that you're my coach.
Well, and I will share this, from someone who has just been able to watch you from afar, and then seeing your body of work. I have, me and you have talked before. I think kids respond to you well. I think your energy is spot on for what young people need. You all don't know it. But you're like really lucky and fortunate to have her in your life, right? And you get older and then you start to realize it, right? Because I've shared at meetings and you know this. I think coaches are the most phenomenal thing that education has to offer, especially when it comes in athletics. Because here's the thing: when you're coach, you get to be coach for life. Right, like even when you all get older and you come back and you see her, you still call her coach because it's obviously a level of respect. So I'll come back to you for a minute though, Isaiah. What do you run? What events do you do in tracking?
Right now, I do 300 hurdles and the 4x4.
That's tough stuff right there. Is there any? Are you all excited about the Olympics coming up? Do you follow any of the Olympic runners? Is that something? Who do you follow?
I follow.
Who do you watch? Who are they? Are there any of the names? Because what's the one young lady that does the hurdle? Sydney something, isn't there? Sydney
yes.
somebody? Yeah. And so is that someone is that someone you watch?
Yeah.
She just attacks the hurdles, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. What about you, Elise? What do you do? What events?
I do everything. Yeah.
Okay. The utility knife, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. Do you know what that means when people say that? No, that's so there used to be these little small pocket knives, and like they would have a corkscrew and scissors, and you could be able to pop out all these different things, and like this one little gadget was able to do so much for you, like a Swiss Army knife type of thing, right? And so when someone is so multifaceted, that's a term they use to say like a Swiss Army knife or a utility knife, because whatever you need, like I think that some of them, like one year somebody came out and one had like a pin on it. You could pop out a little writing pen or something, write with it. You could cut scissors. You could do a corkscrew. You could do whatever it may be. So you can do a little bit of everything. What's your favorite then? What's your favorite event?
My favorite event is between, I have a love-hate relationship with the 400, but I really do love the 400 and long jump. So.
Okay. The 400 is a tough event. I say that we've had a lot of 400 runners on the show, and time again I say it. You got to be bad to sprint around that track one time, right? But you also do the long jump. You just said, right? When you started the season to set goals for yourself, how did you go about that? When you say, I'm coming into this season, I want to accomplish, and you can share with us if you want to or not, but tell me about the process. I think kids can learn from that type of thing.
I feel like me personally, I try not to set like super high expectations for myself so that I'm not extremely disappointed if it doesn't work out. Okay. But I just want to be better than I was last year. That's my goal coming into every season, everything I do, just be better than what I was last year, and I'm satisfied.
Certainly. Okay. What about you, Isaiah? When you think about it, and I know that sometimes as younger athletes, maybe you're not necessarily in that mindset, but here you are. So today you're on the spot, right? So when you think about the goals and things you wanted to do this season, are you where you wanted to be, and what is your process of thinking about what you wanted to do?
I do think I'm in the right, I've progressed very much since last year, and I just try, every time I get on the track, I just try to PR. I just try to get a better personal
Is that a coaching term? Have you heard coach say that was very, or is that a track term? Is that because that was very mature? Like, I just try to PR, you know what I mean, when I'm out there. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically it. And I try to really inspire people to PR. In
A
their
leader in the house. We got leaders over here. Okay. Coach, I'm going to turn to you. And I'm curious. So in track and field, I think some sports, the positions of those sports are easier to identify. Right, you take a basketball, you take a football, things like that. Right, the positions almost define themselves for the students that try out and participate. And in track and field, maybe I think it's a little bit different. Well, I know it is, right, because a long time ago, some genius told me to run hurdles when I was in the 9th grade. I lasted about a week. I think I might have failed every time, and I remember saying to my dad, like, I don't think this coach knows what they doing, because clearly I should not be the person out here jumping over these hurdles, all 5'1" of me or whatever I was in the 9th grade. So, Coach, tell me a little bit about how you identify where your athletes are going to participate in what events.
It's a challenge sometimes. Okay. Some people look like, oh, you're built like a runner, first of all. Some people are built like a 400 runner. They're long, lean, and that's a stereotype. Oftentimes it's true. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah, because AZ from Eastmore back in the day, she wasn't like that. She was a 400 feet now.
Correct.
Great point. We had her on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
great. We had AZ on the show a few weeks ago.
She is one of the two things. One, you could be built like a runner, but if you don't have the mindset, it doesn't matter. Right? She had the mindset that she's just going to go out and dog everything she does. Right. She attacked everything she does. So whether she's built like a 400 runner or just a sprinter.
Or the stereotype
or
of
the
it.
stereotypical, right? Okay. Having the mindset to do it. So sometimes it's hard to identify. At South, and when I coached middle school, we had a lot of people new to track and field. Okay. So everybody wants to do the 100 and the 200. I'm a sprinter. I can do the 1. I can do the 2. That's all I want to do. Right. So it's hard to identify at times. Some is a little easier. You got
to build them up for that kind of.
You have to build them up.
Okay.
You put them on the track. You see what they can handle.
Certainly.
And then you make judgment calls from there. Some people are a little harder to identify what they can do.
Or they can do so much, right?
Or they can do so much. And that's the problem that I've had recently. I've been getting a lot of long sprint. Okay, you can run the 400, you can run the 800. Where we put you. Or maybe you could do the 300 hurdles. And I've had a couple of years where I've had...
And for you listeners, 800 is twice around the track, and I think coaches want you to sprint for some odd reason. They want you to sprint 2 times around the lap.
It's getting there.
Yes, indeed.
800 is almost moving from a run to a dash or a sprint. It's become very competitive. So, and those events are all in the same area. So... Azaya, for example, she ran the 400 last year. We discovered this year, let me go double with those hurdles. She's a great 300 hurdle runner. So 400, 300 hurdles, those are back to back. So you can't have her do both.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then maybe she's an 800 runner.
You mean in the sequence of events?
In the sequence of
events. Got you.
Correct.
Okay. So listeners out there who don't maybe understand track, there's a flow and the events go in an order. And so I think what Coach is sharing is that it would be difficult for a runner to do back-to-back events that come right after each other.
Right.
Okay.
And so you have to make a decision as a coach, where are they going to thrive the best? Or maybe we work on this meet.
Or maybe another teammate might be able to only do one of those events, so you put the one there and then balance it out maybe?
Right. It is always a matter of doing what's best for the development of all the runners. So it can be a challenge. And then sometimes you can't tell what they can do. This one right here said to me, one day I want to try.
We're talking about Elise for our radio.
For the radio listeners. Oh, yes. Elise says, one day I want to try discus. I'm like, okay. Discus people are typically bigger, taller.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, sure. And then she goes out there one day where she calls me on her bluff. She goes out there and she throws an incredibly incredible throw.
Right.
Turns out she is a discus thrower.
Oh, wow.
So she's a jumper and a thrower and a sprinter. So we don't want to put limitations on students trying to find the best fit for the athlete. Is what it's all about.
So you are hearing all that, right? That's like, okay, now coaches have to put their hat on and try to figure out what has Miss Charlette done for you all to trust her vision for what you think you can accomplish. Either one of you, like, I mean, you know what I mean? Dive in because that's a pretty big. As I shared in other sports, you kind of come in the basketball gym. If you can dribble the best, you're probably going to be a guard, right? And if you can shoot, those types of things. But with you all in track and field, and you hearing that, where does the trust come in at to just say, hey, coach, take me wherever, take me and help us figure it out?
Do you want to go first?
Ooh, they looked at each other. That's when I know I got a good question when they look at each other.
Oh, I feel like for me, it took me a couple years to kind of build that trust up.
Okay.
And because I didn't even trust myself because freshman year I hated 400. Like they would put me in it and I would tell them I'm not running it.
Oh wow.
And I wouldn't.
That's a big statement though. Good for you.
I feel like sometimes you just have to accept it and learn that the coach knows best.
Certainly.
And I feel like that's what I did. That's like, they've been doing this for years. She knows what she's talking about.
Certainly.
So I have to just do it.
Yeah.
It works out, So.
Okay. Does having someone like Elise on the team help you as a younger runner be able to develop that thing? Like when you see her have success, can you then say, okay, well, I can follow in that same line?
Yes. Elise, she's you inspire literally almost everybody on the team. Like you are great. And like you also just have to try something new. Like you never know what you're good at until you try it. Like at least say, yeah, I experienced the mile, but I only did it once, but it was all right. I didn't die after. Like Coach Charlette says, after the race, you're going to be alive. You're not
yes, indeed.
going to die.
Yes, indeed. And that mile for all of you listeners out there is a 1,600. That's 4 times around the track. And yes, you are going to die. I know they're saying you're not going to die. You are going to die if you don't. Yeah, you are going to die after 4 times after. Yes, and long after you're right. But no, I'm joking. So, Coach, you're hearing them talk about you've been doing it for a long time, your experience. I want to touch on something now specific and unique to South High School, which I think for those of us who know track and field and know Central Ohio is the Gilchrist Whites track meet. I will share, and so they don't know this, but I'm going to give a little because I was once a Bulldog.
Yeah, that's right.
I got Bulldog love in me as well and had a great time when I was at South. But obviously, and I had the honor to be able to work alongside 2 great educators in George Gilchrist and Miss White, right? And they brought so much love and passion to South every day. And kids now, adults now to the day, I call us kids. We're all kids, right, to somebody. But they still talk about that passion. So tell us about the Gilchrist White track meet, the legacy that you're still carrying on for all the young people at South High School.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Coach George Gilchrist and Coach Rita White coached track and field for the city, for South High School, and represented the city for a very long time. They were highly successful, went to state every year. They embodied what track and field was in the city of Columbus. They had friendly rivals. They had meets that people still talk about. Whenever I when I run into the Dublin Kaufman coach, he talks about, when I was at Granville, we would always have this meet, and the coaches were friends, and we'd have this rivalry meet every year. And we ran at South High School, and we'd be behind the bleachers. And everybody has all the stories about South High School and running against South, or a Coach Gilchrist story. He tried to get me to come out for track, or when he was playing, when he was coaching, he didn't play. You better be on that line. Right. Coach Rita White, I have so much love for her. I still tell everyone she's still the boss of me. Yeah. We check in every track season. She comes to the meet every year. Oh, wow. Good for her. Shine.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
She came on Monday. Okay. Meet just passed. So, yes, the tradition, she still gives me advice when athletes are going far. Now, what are you doing? I think you should tweak this. Or the last time we had an athlete go to state.
It's nice to have those types of guardian angels out there for us all.
Absolutely. So she still gives me great advice. So being able to still tap into that advice and then try to carry her legacy. They're big, big shoes. I'm just trying to get the track and field knowledge out to young people in Central Ohio.
Certainly.
And try to help young people just like they did.
Yeah, I had the benefit, and me and George Gilchrist worked alongside each other. You know, we would be out there walking the halls and out there doing the buses and all the things that come with being in the school. And it's like you shared, having the opportunity to pick up on those little tidbits of life, right, and being able to learn from individuals like that. And that's what was shared just now here, where you hear Isaiah say to Elise, "Hey, look, we all kind of look up to you." So I'm gonna turn to you. Do you feel? I mean, let me pause for a moment. I didn't get this in at the beginning, but these are multiple sport athletes. They do volleyball as well. They play a little volleyball, right? Yes. Yes, you play volleyball.
But
no?
I won't be.
Oh, you will. Yeah, you look slowly. But and then you're honor students, so you guys get it done in the classroom. Elise, I want to ask you: Do you feel that though? Can you feel the energy of being like a leader and a captain on the team?
I definitely do, and it's new to me a little bit.
Okay.
You know, but it's positive energy. You know, it's like I feel honored that people look up to me like that.
Oh yeah,
you know
nice. Okay.
Because it's just I never would have thought that. You know?
Here you are.
Like, you know. So.
Okay. So then share with us where does your track journey begin? When did you? Because I hear AAU, and I will share, right, like. Track, I don't, like you said, you get a lot of first year runners, so kudos to you, especially the way you build your athletes up. But you find now in sports, like kids, like when we were kids, you just went to the rec center and you played whatever the rec leader said we were doing today, right? So we learned all of these things, and kids specialize so much now, right? So when did your track journey begin?
My track journey began, I want to say, the winter when I was in 5th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because when I was a kid, I did like everything. Like I was a jack of all trades kid. Like I swam, I danced, I did karate. Like I did everything.
Okay.
And my mom was like, "You like to run. Do you want to try this?" And, you know, it was the Columbus Panthers, their indoor team. And I went out and I liked it and I stayed, you know, and I feel like I found something that I could see myself doing.
Okay. And been running ever since.
Yes, sir.
So both of you got multiple years in running, right? You've been running for a long time. The beauty of it for me, right, is I think track and field has this ability also for you where you can dig in internally, individually. It's a team sport. So you want to come out, you want the team to win, you want to get your points, you want to get your numbers. The team wants to go home with the hardware, but you also have an opportunity to individually excel, right? Because if you keep going and your times are better, you can kind of see where the measuring stick is at, right? Because you can look across the state and look at times and numbers and go, I can accomplish that. How do you balance the team with also making sure that each kid is going to get, you know, or reach their goal and making sure that they reach that goal?
Right. We talk a lot about the fact that track and field is mental. It's an individual team sport, just like you said. So we spend time reiterating the fact that you can go push yourself to be better. That is one of the things that I find we're missing now. Kids, society has everything just easy. You want your food, you can get it in a couple minutes.
Right.
You can microwave it, or you can Uber Eats it. The challenge of pushing yourself and that delayed gratification is something that's missing. And that's something that I want to be able to help develop in track and field. My goal in coaching anything, as long as I've been teaching, is to make students better, to empower girls and now just both genders. Yeah. Just empowering people to be better than they were.
Wow.
So it's a mental, especially these 400 runners. We talked about the fact that you're going to be in pain anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
After you run that lap, you're going to be in pain anyway. Do you want to have the regret of not doing your best? Right. Or do you go all out? It's all very mental. So just reiterating that.
I'm going to use that one. I just want you to know, I'm just going to steal that coaching tidbit from you. I think you hit something very spot on, right? Because we constantly, as a society, we come up with all these instant access, right? The magic dust. I always say there's no magic dust in sports, though, right? There's magic dust in a lot of things, like you mentioned, whether it's popping food into the microwave or whether it is ordering something online or being able to go to your phone to look up whatever that, piece of information. But in sports, and I keep sharing this with kids, parents, we got all sorts of listeners. So here we go again, right? This is one of my little coaches, parents, kids. There's no magic dust.
No.
You have to put in the work. If you want success at the end, and what's really starting to happen is that the kids that put in the work, you see it, they're separating themselves from everyone else, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in sports, you see it every place. When you all hear that and the challenge of being student athletes, Azai, we'll start with you. How do you balance your being a student athlete and how do you continue to push yourself? What's your motivation? Because other kids you're looking at Elise, but other kids are looking at you who may not even be on the track team. They see you and they go, man, she's bad to the bone. I want to be like that. They won't say that to you because kids aren't at that spot. When I was in school, it was still cool enough to compliment your fellow students, right? We were fans of each other. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't a football kid. I go to the football game and my buddies, Damon Smith and Alex Eggleston and all these guys would play amazing. Tarek White, they all play well. I tell them, man, I see you out there getting it, right? Because we could celebrate each other that way. So they're celebrating you. They're just not telling you, right? But my question for you is, how do you balance it and how do you continue to push yourself?
I balance it because you have to think about it. If you don't have a good GPA, you won't be playing any sports. So you have to take your education very seriously. Okay. And if you don't have that GPA, I'm sorry, but you won't be running or playing any sports. So you really have to take your education very serious. And how I balance it, you have to go to sleep at night. Like, you have to
Come on, let them know. Yes, indeed.
You have to make a bedtime for yourself. And even if it's like 30 minutes, turn off your phone, look at the ceiling.
Come on.
Think about what you did today.
Hey, share them tips by Isaiah. Come on, let them know.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Right, give everybody a little peek into how you're being successful. Turn it off a little bit. I love that one.
You have to turn your phone off, turn your TV off, reminisce about what you did today or something for 30 minutes, then go to sleep. Because screen time, it really can mess you up. Wow. It really can.
Come on. I can't say this. I almost would end the show right now. We still got a little bit of time left, but it's powerful. I think a lot of young people are going to hear that though, and say to themselves, they won't come out and say it out loud to their moms or grandmas or dads, right? But they'll hear that and they'll say, okay, that's why she's bouncing around here, so successful and all those things. And let me try that. Slowly but surely, they'll implement some of those successes into their life. Elise, what about you? How are you able to do all these things that you're doing and accomplish them at a high rate? Yeah.
I feel like for me, I just think about the place I was in last year around this time, just the whole school year, my whole sophomore year, it was a horrible year.
Okay.
It was really bad. Me and Coach Charlette were just talking about this. It was just a really rough time.
So here, can I share this also as just another perspective? It was a learning year.
Yeah.
Right? So because sometimes we can use words that maybe explains an experience and then we can put an added stress onto ourselves. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we just have to maybe change the words that we use. So instead of you looking back and saying it was a horrible year, it was a really learning year, right?
I do look at it as a learning experience.
Okay, good. Okay.
I feel like I'm able to look at how I handled things last year, and I'm like, I don't want to do that again, and I just have to think about it. Just force myself to do something else.
Certainly.
Stay on top of my stuff. So.
Okay.
Learn from your mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes. I love it. So here's the beauty of it. I want to give each of you now an opportunity. Share with me what's your favorite track moment that you've had? You pull out any one of them from this year, this season, last season, when you was in the 5th grade, or was it 5th grade or 5 years old?
5th grade.
5th grade. Yeah. Share with me a favorite track memory that you got that bounces in there when you think about it.
Ooh, you about to come back to me.
I don't know.
No, neither one of you. You don't have a moment where you really felt like, yeah, this is working for me. You don't have a moment like that, maybe?
I feel like, okay, come back to me. Okay. Cities last year was really good. I feel like our team last year, it was like a family. It was just, we were all there for each other, supporting each other. It was fun. Actually, I just feel like last year's track season as a whole was probably
Okay.
You know, it was great.
Okay. Coach, what about you? All these years you've been coaching, you talked about your time in and being in and around South and starting off with Double Dutch and all those things. Do you look back at a moment or are you so fresh and involved in it? You have so many.
There are a lot. But I can go ahead and speak to what they were talking about last year's team being a family and fostering that same energy this year and helping try to grow the culture of track and field. Because track and field has its own culture, little traditions and things like that. And the fact that last year they cheered each other on, like they said, they enjoy spending time with one another. This past October, we got together and had breakfast and cheered on the marathon runners as a team.
Yeah, certainly.
Then went out to outing for bowling. They just enjoy spending time with one another, coaching each other on, cheering each other on. And just as an aside, the boys and girls program work together. So we all coach together.
Okay. Yeah.
So the boys coaches and the girls coaches, we're not separate. We're all together.
Empowering each other.
We're all empowering each other.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful. And I believe that energy from boys and girls alike help break down some barriers as far as socially. And I believe it helps build bulldog spirit altogether.
Bulldog spirit. Right. I love it. Yes, indeed.
It really does help empower the track and field program and shine a nice light on the program and encourage more people to come out because we had a explosive turnout this year.
That's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have.
Yeah. We want kids out running and participating, and when I say run, I mean just get involved, right?
Yes.
And that will help change your life, right? Getting involved, I think, will help change your life. I ask you those questions because I think it's important for people to hear, like you know, and I don't want you all to lose sight of. While you're out here participating, you're also creating your own memories, right? Embrace them, enjoy them, allow them to be a part of, you know what I mean, your memory bank. As you get older, like for me, I talk about that more now with people. What do you have in your memory bank? Because sometimes you got to dig around in there and find something to pull out and say, okay, hey, look, I need this memory to help get through this day, right? Because we're facing some challenges. They're telling me we got to wrap up a little bit here. I told you the time goes by fast, right? And so, but I'll turn to each of you. We'll start with you, Isaiah. Anything you want to share as we get out of here? You can say whatever you want. The mic is yours. Shout out. You can do whatever. Say whatever you want to say. Look, we got her. Yes, indeed.
I'm a little shy.
Okay.
Elise, can you go first, please?
Oh.
She needs your help. Come on, leader. What you got over there? What do you want to say to anybody?
I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity and for Miss Charlette and for Isaiah because they mean so much to me. You know?
Nice.
Like, me and Isaiah, we've built a bond over the last year, and like that. This is my girl now. I'm so proud of her. I'm proud of our team. You know, there's been a lot of growth, especially with you, like. Killing these hurdles, you know? Right. And I don't know if she's listening, but Imani, she told me to shout her out, so I got to shout her out.
Come on. Yes,
basketball player. She's really good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. You got anything you ready to give? Come on.
I got some ideas.
Okay.
I am grateful to be here today too. Thank you, Miss Charlette, and thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes, and I'm going to shout out Elijah, my fave. Yeah. He's been eating down on every event that he has, and
There you go. Coach, what you got? Get us out of here. What you got?
I want to shout out Voltron, my coaching team, Coach Dolores Price, Beverly Tate, and we're coaching together. Coach Thornton and Coach Prillerman that aren't coaching this year, but are a big part of.
Been around, for a long time.
Absolutely, been around for a long time.
I think I know Bird, probably one of the people I've known forever. I mean, I don't know. I don't tell. I mean, I don't know how. Sometimes I forget how old I am, but I've known Bird probably 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, since we were young, you know what I mean? We've known each other for a really long time.
I feel at a disadvantage because I didn't go to Columbus City schools, and everybody has all these stories, but I'm a proud member of the
Certainly. No, you're part of the family. Yes, indeed.
And also, I want to shout out all of the City League coaches. They are supportive. While we are coaching against each other, but when it comes down to it, especially when we get to districts and regionals and states, we're all one band, one sound. We all help each other out. So shout out to Coach Blackwell and to Shoulders and Coach Lewis. I don't want to start naming it.
Right, because we got a lot of love out there. We have a phenomenal core of track coaches across the city, and we do some special stuff. I'm excited for these two young ladies and to continue to watch your growth and see what you accomplish and do, not just in this tournament track season here, as this comes upon us, but what you do in your next future years. We'll be keeping our eye on you, right? Miss Charlette, like you said, you're certainly part of the family. I don't even know that anyone would think differently, and I'm honored to sit here with you today. To be very honest, I not only I'm a fan of your work, and I say that with the most sincerity. I'm a fan of your work. I think what you do is phenomenal. We're lucky to have you.
That's so kind of you. That is really, you're too kind. Thank you. And thank you for having us here today.
Yeah.
Looking out for the Bulldogs.
Yes, indeed. Right. I got love for the Bulldogs. Yes, indeed. So I got to get us out of here, but much respect to you all for joining us today. Been a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Catch all our future episodes on Radio WCBE 90.5 FM. For you folks out there on your podcast, catch us on your favorite podcast channel, Spotify, Apple, and then everybody follow us on Instagram at City League Sports 614. That's all we got today. This is City League Sports.